Breaking news, Lakers Nation. What we witnessed in Game 2 wasn't just a victory. It was the birth of a new Lakers playoff identity. When the dust settled at Crypto.com Arena, the scoreboard showed a tied series, but what unfolded on the court revealed something far more significant about this Lakers team that has the entire NBA suddenly taking notice. After Minnesota's dominant Game 1 performance had many writing off Los Angeles, J.J. Redick's squad delivered a basketball clinic that was less about flash and more about fight. Even the ever-critical Stephen A. Smith couldn't hide his admiration for what transpired, declaring the Lakers had exposed the Timberwolves through a suffocating defensive masterpiece that completely flipped this series on its head. The transformation from Game 1 to Game 2 wasn't just dramatic, it was potentially season-defining. Despite scoring just 95 points for the second consecutive game, normally a recipe for playoff disaster, the Lakers emerged victorious through defensive intensity that left Minnesota's stars frustrated, confused, and most importantly, contained. What makes this victory so remarkable isn't just the result, but the manner in which it was achieved. Through collective sacrifice, strategic adjustments, and a physical commitment that sent a clear message throughout the Western Conference, these Lakers have discovered their playoff formula, and it starts with making opponents uncomfortable for 48 grueling minutes. The strategic blueprint that fueled this defensive renaissance deserves careful examination, as it perfectly showcases J.J. Redick's basketball intelligence and willingness to embrace unconventional solutions. Facing Minnesota's imposing length and athleticism that dominated Game 1, the Lakers made a fascinating counter-adjustment, going smaller rather than attempting to match size with size. This counterintuitive approach proved brilliant, as increased switchability, communication, and defensive pressure completely disrupted Minnesota's offensive rhythm. Stephen A. Smith's post-game analysis cut directly to the heart of what transpired, highlighting the Timberwolves' predictability as their downfall. Using his trademark, colorful language, Smith declared, "Everybody and their grandmother knows Julius Randle is going left," using the Knicks forward as an analogy for how transparent Minnesota's offensive sets had become. Though Randle plays for New York, Smith's point about predictability resonated perfectly with what was happening to Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves' offense. They repeatedly ran into the same defensive wall with no variation, no creativity, and ultimately, no solution. Smith's warning was crystal clear and ominous for Minnesota. You can't do that against a J.J. Redick-coached team. You can't do that against Luka Doncic and those boys. You can't do that against LeBron. Because when you're predictable, your season ends. The Lakers executed their defensive game plan flawlessly, rotating with precision, closing out aggressively on shooters, and controlling the paint despite their size disadvantage. This defensive commitment transformed a team that had struggled for consistency throughout the regular season into a focused, determined unit capable of winning games even when their offense falters. While the collective defensive effort rightfully headlines this Lakers resurgence, no player embodied the team's newfound fighting spirit more vividly than Rui Hachimura, whose Game 2 performance transcended statistics and entered the realm of playoff legend. Early in the contest, Hachimura crashed to the floor face first in a collision that sent him to the locker room, only to emerge minutes later wearing a protective mask. In a moment that will live in Lakers playoff lore, Hachimura almost immediately tore off the mask upon re-entering the game, a visual declaration that discomfort and pain wouldn't prevent him from battling. Coach Redick's post-game assessment captured the emotional impact perfectly. "He played like a warrior tonight. I'm sure he's probably in the X-ray room right now. There were a few plays where he got key deflections, disrupted the offense. He was awesome." This wasn't empty praise from Redick. Hachimura's contributions extended far beyond his modest statistical line of approximately 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist per game in the series. What box scores fail to capture is his defensive communication, his rotations, and his willingness to sacrifice his body on every possession. The Lakers' commitment to smaller lineups with LeBron James and Hachimura frequently serving as the bigs required extraordinary effort from both to compensate for their size disadvantage. Hachimura delivered exactly that, fighting for rebounds against taller opponents, contesting shots at the rim, and providing crucial scoring when opportunities arose. His performance wasn't just important for Game 2, it established an emotional baseline for the entire team as they prepare for the hostile environment awaiting in Minnesota. Hachimura's willingness to play through pain, through discomfort, and still deliver maximum effort has become the emotional fuel driving this Lakers team into the critical road games ahead. The Lakers roster situation adds another fascinating dimension to this evolving playoff narrative, as the organization cleared space for potential reinforcement by waiving injured center Christian Wood. This move signals the front office's recognition that additional help might be needed, particularly with their commitment to smaller, more versatile lineups against Minnesota's imposing size. The name generating the most buzz is Mo Bamba, a familiar figure to Lakers fans from his previous stint with the team. With his massive 7'10" wingspan, theoretical floor spacing ability, and shot-blocking potential, Bamba represents the prototype of what the Lakers might need to complement their current rotation. However, legitimate questions surround his potential impact, as he hasn't averaged more than 16 minutes per game since the 2021-22 season and has struggled to establish himself as a consistent contributor despite his physical gifts. His development has stagnated through multiple stops, raising concerns about whether he could provide reliable minutes in high-pressure playoff situations. The Lakers find themselves navigating a delicate balance. They clearly need front-court reinforcement, but the available options might not represent significant upgrades over their current personnel. Alternative paths exist beyond just Bamba. The front office could pursue veteran bigs with limited mileage this season, explore international options, or even pivot toward wing depth if the right player becomes available. Rob Pelinka has earned a reputation for thorough research and unexpected moves, suggesting that whatever direction they choose will be carefully considered rather than reactionary. The Western Conference playoff landscape presents numerous challenges that will require strategic roster construction to overcome. From Denver's size and skill to Oklahoma City's youth and athleticism to Minnesota's defensive prowess. What Game 2 demonstrated, however, is that these Lakers have discovered something potentially more valuable than any single roster addition: a collective defensive identity and fighting spirit that can compensate for their limitations. The balanced effort that produced this victory suggests a team finding its playoff character at precisely the right moment. Their willingness to embrace physicality, make strategic adjustments, and win through defensive intensity provides a foundation that could carry them far beyond what early season projections suggested possible. Lakers Nation, what we're witnessing is the emergence of a team that knows exactly who they are and how they need to play to succeed. And that self-awareness might be the most dangerous weapon in the playoff arsenal. If you believe this defensive transformation could be the key to a deep playoff run, hit that like button right now and share your thoughts in the comments. Could Bamba be the missing piece? Will Hachimura's warrior mentality spread throughout the roster? Your passionate insights fuel our basketball community, and I absolutely cannot wait to see how this fascinating series continues to unfold as we head to Minnesota for the crucial next chapter.